Okay, so the intro slash verse riff here, we're just playing with this G minor 7 riff, and it's going between essentially what's like a G9 suspended, which is just barring 10 on the A, D, G, and B there. All right, and it's just going to do this hammer-on little riff, all right, where we'll take that and we're going to hammer onto the G minor 7, which would be taking the B, the 10 to 11, and the 12 from the 10 on the D. Okay, just a lot of that going on. So we'll hammer that on, hit it again, kind of cut it, do a couple of like string scrapes, hit the chord again, the G minor 7, a couple times, and then just come back off to that G9 suspended, just the 10s, and then we would just loop it all over again. So slowly it'd be all right, and you can get, a little looser with it, just kind of get the feel of it in that sense, and then just take it from there. So that's happening in the intro. In the verse, there's a second acoustic that's in the background, and it's doing this cool little arpeggio thing, which would be here at the 2 to 3 hammer on the G, come down, hit the 3 on the E, off to 1, hit the 3 on the B, and then an open G. So slowly there. Alright, and that's just continuing throughout the, while the other guitar is doing that initial riff. Chorus comes along, and it kind of takes a little bit of what we were doing with the G9 suspended to the G minor 7 and just moves it to the C. All right, so we'll just be down here now. We'll hit the C minor 7 initially, all right, 3A, 5D, 3G, 4B, that same G minor shape, just over here. All right, and with this, it's a little bit of a timing dynamic difference. We'll just hit that, come off to just the 3s on the A, D, G, and B. That 9 suspended. All right, just kind of going back and forth between the minor 7, the 9 suspended, a couple times, and then just come back to the minor 7, kind of hold it for a little longer, and then just repeat that twice. So it'd be something like, and like I said, you can get a little loose with that, just kind of get the vibe and the feel of it. Kind of shuffle it a little bit if you want. From there, we just come back and do our initial verse intro riff at the G minor 7, just like we usually do. All right, and now at this point, we're going to do this little descaling, descending chord thing. Be a E flat, so 6A, 8s on the D, G, B. Hold that for a measure. Then we move down a fret, and we're going to do a D suspended 4, so just like we're going to make a normal D, but then just add that 8 on the B. Alright, and then we just go to a D from there, so just lift off that 8 and make it the normal 7. Alright, and from there, in the initial choruses, we just go back to our G minor 7 riff. Okay, so pretty straightforward, just a few chords added in there, a little different. All right, in about the third verse or so, we get these kind of verse breaks that happen. The initial one, it's just kind of doing like that, like blue suede shoes kind of stop, Still using those 9 suspended to G minor 7, but we just hit a couple of those 9 suspendeds, just the 10s. Okay. And then just land on that G minor 7 and then cut it. We just rest, all right? And we just go through that dynamic about 4 times. We get another style of a verse break further down the line. This is going to be like a lower voiced G minor 7. So just bar the 3s, add the 5 on the A. All right, and with this we're kind of doing like a chug, I guess, kind of simulating the train vibe or something. So it's like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then down to an F chord. The last chorus, everything's kind of going along just as usual. We do our C minor 7, C9 suspended riff to the G9 suspended G minor 7 riff. Go through that, but once we get to that descending E flat, D suspended 4, D flat section, everything kind of breaks away here and it comes a little looser, quieter, drawn out. So just kind of take that into play. So we hit our E flat. Just kind of carry it out maybe twice as long. Then we do our D suspended 4, just the same. D. And this time we're going to land on a C minor 7, okay, instead of coming back to our G riff. So just hit that C minor 7. And there's a little kind of scale you can do in there too, just a little something like a 3 to 5 hammer on the G. 3, 3 to 5 on the D to 5G. Just a little something to put in there. And at the outro, just before the fade out kicks in, there's kind of a new little riff that just gets thrown in there while everyone's kind of jamming out, getting crazy, So in the midst of that G riff that we usually do, we switch to something like this, where we just come down to 3s on the DGB, hit it, do a dead string, do 5s. Okay, and then just kind of do a dead string 3, dead string 5, dead strings 3, and then just do a couple at the end. So it's just kind of like bouncing between those 3s and 5s on the DGB, putting some dead strings in there, just kind of like going a little improv-y right in that section.